I worked a variety of jobs in my day, from making pizzas to selling phones to working at the grocery store. Check that video out, by the way, to even working from home. But oddly enough, the job I worked for probably the longest stretch of time would have been at the liquor store. I had never been much of a drinker, but turns out that's not exactly the type of person they want to hire anyway. Apparently, some people who have worked for them in the past had habits of dipping a little too much into the merchandise. I had heard tales of even previous managers who liked to drink a bit too much and would take bottles and hide them in the tiles of the ceiling for themselves. But growing up, I was always kind of known as the straight edge kid for a while. That was until my late high school years when I started to try things out, like drinking, which I wasn't much of a fan of, to be honest with you, and smoking the ganja, which I only did once for about 10 years. But as you can imagine, though, working at a place like a liquor store for what ended up being several years of my life, I ended up walking away with plenty of interesting stories. Going in, though, I had no idea what I was in for. For example, thieves. Do you realize how often people try to get away with stealing things from places like liquor stores? Luckily, I was never robbed at gunpoint or anything, but man, people would try anything, from just taking the bottles and running out the door as fast as they can to this one guy tried to hide 2 half-gallons of Fireball in his pant legs, thinking we wouldn't notice. And I don't know if you have any idea how large a half-gallon of Fireball is, but let me tell you, we noticed. Let's see. This didn't happen while I was there, but a car did crash into the building 3 times. Yeah, it was seriously within the span of about 5 years, 3 different cars had crashed into the building. Luckily, no one was hurt, but it got to the point where the bricks on the outside of the building looked well, you know how in cartoons when something doesn't match the background that's supposed to kind of blend in with it, so you know something's about to happen at that spot? Well, that's how the outside of the building looked. One thing I was there for was a shooting. Yeah, I said I didn't get robbed at gunpoint. I didn't say there weren't any guns. But yeah, the store wasn't exactly in the best part of town. So me and my coworker, let's call him D, we were working that night, just bringing up a couple of customers while D was snacking away on a Wendy's burger. All of us just minding our own business when all of a sudden we heard shots right outside the door. Well, we all dropped to the floor. Me at a little bit of a delay. It was my first shooting. I looked over at D and he's down on the ground, very cautiously on edge, just looking around while at the same time taking the occasional bite of his burger the whole time. Let me tell you, that would have been a great advertisement for Wendy's, just saying. After a second, I quickly go to lock the door, and then we take the 2 customers that were in the store into the back stock room, and we hide until the cops eventually show up. And it turns out someone was shot in the leg over a parking spot, of all things. Luckily, the guy lived. He was fine. He would come in very frequently after that, doing A-okay. But what a stupid thing to shoot someone over. There were plenty of odd and kind of scary interactions. One guy coming in to buy a cheap bottle of vodka covered in blood. I was just please tell me you're a hunter and that's from a deer. And the guy was just have a good day, sir. But there were some pleasant interactions too. This one time, this guy came in to buy a 2-liter of soda, which, to be fair, we actually had really great deals on 2 liters of soda. Anyway, he was looking through the options before deciding on a bottle of Orange Crush. And when he got to the counter, he was like, man, I really wish you guys had the pineapple flavor. And I was like, Pineapple Crush? That exists? And he was like, yeah, dude, I drink it in Detroit all the time. You don't have that here? I told him I had never heard of it. So he told me he would bring me back some to try. And I didn't think too much about it, of course. I didn't think he was serious. I thought he was just being nice, making friendly conversation. But when you know it, about 2 weeks later, he comes in with 2 liters of Pineapple Crush that he brought to West Virginia from Detroit just for me. I was so thankful, and to this day, that's probably my favorite customer interaction of all time. All in all, it was an interesting couple of years, and I'm very grateful for them. I ended up making pretty good friends with my coworkers, and some of them actually ended up inspiring some of the characters in my webcomics I was making at the time. Speaking of which, the job was chill enough to just let me, when I had enough downtime, work on my comics in the store. They would even let me use the desk in the office instead of having to draw up front with all the customers. And to be honest, that extra time I had to work on my comics is really what helped me get into the online creative space. The job I had beforehand never had enough downtime for me to do anything like that, and working full-time while also being a full-time student, I ended up actually getting really depressed, and I didn't have enough time to work on my creative side like how I did in high school. And I think the job and the bosses being as cool as they were at the liquor store actually really helped me with that. That all said, I couldn't make this video without having a little drink responsibly PSA. I know I'm not your mom. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. But I don't think drinking is inherently bad either. I mean, heck, even Jesus drank wine every once in a while. But it is the abuse of alcohol that can cause a problem. Unfortunately, I do come from a family where a lot of members of my family have struggled with alcoholism, and my hometown struggles with addiction in general, honestly. So I just try to be hyper aware of how much and how often I'm drinking when I do decide to drink. That way it doesn't really become a problem for me like I've seen it become with so many other people. You know, just be smart about it. And if you are struggling, I encourage you to go seek help. I'm sure you have plenty of friends and family members that want to see you get better, and you should want to get better for yourself too. No one's going to be able to make you change unless you want to. Just in case, I'm throwing a link for Alcoholics Anonymous down in the description, so you can find a place near you that might be able to help out with that. That's all of that. Again, not trying to be a buzzkill. I just wouldn't feel right if I didn't throw that in there. With all that out of the way, I appreciate you guys for watching, as usual. I have plenty of stories from this line of work and other lines of work, so if you're interested in hearing more of stories like that, definitely let me know in the comments. Please give the video a like, share it with your friends, and feel free to subscribe if you want more content like this. I've got all kinds of other story time videos from the channel. Again, I've got a story time video, Tales from the Grocery Store. It's a lot more interesting than what it sounds like. And I've changed clothes to tell you to be sure to pre-order the Lemon Squid manga t-shirt. If you saw my last video, you may have already known about this, but it's a very cool shirt. It's stylish, it's comfortable, you'll look amazing in it. I mean, if I look good in it, imagine how good you'll look in it. You're guaranteed to be better looking than me, like realistically. But yeah, so link in the description. Pre-order this now. The pre-orders end on March 15th. After March 15th, that's when I'll make the shirts. I'm having a local place print them off and make them. I'm working with a local business on this, and we'll ship them off to you directly. So by the time they get to you, it'll be nice and warm outside, and you won't be freezing like I currently am, because I think it's like 9 degrees today, which is why I'm wearing this. But anyway, buy the shirt if you want to support the channel. Thanks again for watching, especially if you've made it to the end. Don't shoot people over parking spots, and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.